Hello, welcome back to Glow Up with Froshay, and happy Vlogtober again. I feel like since it is Vlogtober and I just did my makeup and I look cute, I am going to share with you my paranormal experience story. Now, I have a lot of these stories. Like, I have a lot. Like, I can have a whole series of these paranormal activity experiences stories. I feel like that was a tongue twister. But I have a lot of stories to share with you guys. So I'm just going to tell you this one story that was really freaking creepy. And I'm going to share this story because it was witnesses. Like, my whole family witnessed this paranormal experience. And it was not only me, because usually I would be the one that would experience something, in the paranormal realm of spirit. So we lived at this old apartment complex for years, literally years, since I was in high school. And it was a lot of paranormal activity in there. It's an old building that used to be something else. It used to be a candy shop. It used to be kind of like not a speakeasy, but like a lounge area. Where we took off the wallpaper that was there for years. It was like a mural underneath the wallpaper, and it was a creepy mural, and it looked like it was there since the early 1900s. This is how old the building is. And a lot of houses in that neighborhood is really old. So we're talking about early 1900s old. Yeah, so everything there is very nostalgic. So let's get right into it. So we were remodeling the kitchen because we were there so long. We just wanted to do the kitchen over. So we were taking off the wallpaper, and like I said, it was an old mural underneath the wallpaper, which is still there. And things changed once we started ripping out the wallpaper and changing things in the kitchen. It just got real creepy in the house. Everything looked darker, the hallways looked darker. I was scared to go down the hallways, and my sister was too. Everything just looked more creepier, and it just gave a creepy vibe, like somebody was watching you. Well, every time we were in the living room anyway, it feels like somebody was watching us, but that was before we pulled down the wallpaper. But after we pulled down the wallpaper, everything was just weird. It just started getting real creepy in the house, and I know. So we were still remodeling the kitchen. Even though things got really creepy and really weird and really dark in the house, we just had to finish it. So my grandmother was in the kitchen, and everybody was home on this day, this particular day. Everybody was home. It was in July. It was in July. It had to be in July or August. It was a summer day. And my sister remembered this too. My grandmother was talking to someone in the kitchen. I forgot who. I don't know if it was my uncle or my mom or whatever. But I know I was in my room with Kiana, my sister, and we heard all this commotion going on in the kitchen. What's going on? He was like, what the heck is going on? So we left the room and we went in the kitchen. And the way our apartment is made, you walk out the kitchen door. So there's a door in our kitchen that leads literally to nowhere. So it leads to outside, like a little roof, but it's no gate or anything. So I don't know if it used to be a little porch or whatever, and they took down the gate or whatever, but it leads to literally a roof. And we have a chair out there, to sit and enjoy the breeze or whatever, but we don't believe the roof is not that sturdy to even hold any outside furniture or anything like that, so we don't even go out there. That night, my grandmother seen a shadow on the roof, it's a wall right here. So it's a wall and then a roof and then an open area. So she's seen a shadow on the roof. She's like, somebody's outside, somebody's out on the roof, somebody's on the roof. It was turning dark. It's maybe 8:30, almost 9 o'clock, and on a summer day, turning dark. But and like I said, this day everybody was there. My uncle was there visiting, my grandmother was there. Everybody was there at this particular time. So my grandmother was like, somebody's on the roof, somebody's on the roof. So me and my sister comes out my room, and we're like, what is going on? So she thinks somebody's on the roof because she sees a shadow on the wall. So we're all looking and we're seeing the same shadow on the wall. It's a man shadow. You could see the silhouette of a man. Like you could see clearly it's a skinny man, like probably about 5'8", 5'9". Like, and the shadow was so dark that it literally looks like the man was standing right in front of the wall. That's how dark the shadow was. It wasn't a light shadow. It was nothing projecting. Where is this shadow coming from? We're all looking, and my uncle even like looks down to see anybody outside. Nobody was outside. Nobody was projecting anything up here. A man walked past that lives downstairs, and he like, my uncle says, "Hey, do you see this? Like, do you see it's a shadow up here on the wall, but nobody's like here?" And the man was just like, he just like flexed it off, like, "Oh, okay." Like he was like we're crazy. So it was a man up there. All of a sudden, a woman appears. A woman shadow appears with the man. I kid you not. And this was so long ago. We didn't even have like cameras on our phone to record this. So it was that long. I think we had flip phones. So really the camera wasn't good for video or whatever. So literally now we're watching a woman and a man on the roof, like walking back and forth. It was the wall is probably not even that big, and they're walking back and forth on our rooftop. Now they're dancing with each other. Dancing, and we're talking about like old ballroom dancing. Like he's grabbing her, he holds her close. You could tell she has a ponytail. It's a flowy ponytail, you know, like really flowy. Like it looks like she could have been Caucasian or whatever the case may be. It was a flowy ponytail, very long ponytail. He's grabbing her. She has a big dress on, kind of like, you know, like Titanic. Like I was thinking, that's how it brought my mind to like Titanic when the ladies had the little corsets and the big ballroom gowns. And he held her tight. He's dropping her down, literally ballroom dancing. Guys, no music was playing as these two were dancing to ballroom dancing on a rooftop. Nobody there but us. So now my sister's watching, I'm watching, my grandmother's watching, my mother's watching, my uncle's watching. We're all sitting here looking at these two shadows dance on our rooftop with nobody else around. Our neighbor, the next house, is so far from us. It couldn't be our neighbors. It couldn't be anybody below us because we were on the 3rd floor. We don't have any like neighbors. So it's like downstairs, he lives in a basement, and a neighbor way across the street. So it's like, where were these shadows coming from? We were just so confused. We did not sit to think it was spirits at first, because we're like, somebody's playing. So first my grandmother thought somebody was trying to rob us. Second, we thought it was a prank. Then we thought it was somebody moving their moving projector, whatever, movie projector. They're trying to scare us or whatever. It was nobody around, literally nobody around. And we all seen this. So now we see him. It had to be going on for like 20 minutes. It had to be going on 15, 20 minutes. Now we see the guy grabs her, and now it's getting dark. So it's like half of it is, now we only see half of their shadow. We don't see their whole body. It's a real dark, half of the wall is really dark now. Like it's really dark, I guess because it's nighttime now. So half of the wall is really dark. There's a street light in front of us. So that's why it's some light that we could still see half of them. So it's like really dark now. We see him hold her and like strangle. Looks like he strangled her into the dark part of the wall. Brought her into the dark part of the wall. Like it looked really weird and strange. And everybody was like, what is he doing? What is he doing? What's going on? What is going on? It's like we were watching a movie on our roof wall. That's how it was. Like we were all watching this movie and how it was going to play out. And it's so weird because we didn't call the cops. We didn't call anybody. Like it was just like they had us in a trance to watch this play out. And then he drags her into the darkness. He leaves. So now we're like, well, where did he go? Now we're looking like, what is going on here? Did he come in our house? Because A week before that, let me tell you, a week before that, when we were remodeling the kitchen, my sister was sitting on the roof, and she said she sworn she seen a shadow like pass by her very fast to go inside. I don't know if that was the same person that she seen. She said she seen a shadow stormed in her house really fast. She said maybe it was her, you know, the blink of her eye, but in her peripheral vision, she seen a shadow went past. This was before we even seen this, a week before. So now we look across the street, and this house across the street is a huge Victorian house. And it is old as heck. I think it's older, probably older than our building. Nobody stays in the house. People move in and move out within 6 months, 3 months, 4 months. Like nobody stays there. And we always wondering, that's a big, beautiful house. How come nobody stays in this house? So we're looking around for the shadow where he went. He literally, the window was open over there, and I kid you not, he literally bent down, stuck his head in the window, and then put his foot in the window in that house across the street. He stuck his head and his legs in the window across the street. As if he were a full body, as if he had a full body. He was just a daggone shadow. Why are you sneaking into somebody's window? Like you just committed a crime, sir. Nobody was there. Nobody was there. It was not a real person. We were like, he's right there. He's right there. He snuck into people's window across the street in a big Victoria house from the 1800s. I'm like, well, did he live there? Did he knew a woman that lived here? When we tore down the wallpaper, did it stir up something? So it disturbed me so much in that sense that I was really, really concerned and like worried about what happened, because it literally looked like he hurt the woman in the shadow, like in the shadow realm or whatever the case may be. So I did some research. I went to the library to do some research, and I seen something happened like early, I think 1916, around our neighborhood. It's between the blocks of my neighborhood, and I'm not gonna say the name of my block, but it was a street. They called it in another street, so our house is like literally smack in the middle. A young man was married. I think he was like 19, 20 years old, and this is a time where, you know, women's rights were not effective as of yet. So she wanted to work, his wife wanted to work, and he didn't want her working. He came home and he strangled her and put her into the sewer right in the middle of the 2 blocks where my house is, and it's a sewer right in front of my house. Now, I do not know if this was connected or this is the story that played out but it was similar stories. So it connected in a sense, like in everything I experienced in the apartment, experienced from a man and a woman, like spirit that's there. So I don't know if there was a connection with that, but I do know that was the only crime from way back in the day that I researched that happened. And it kind of added up a little bit. I don't know like whatever the case may be. I showed my mom the articles and stuff like that, but I don't know if it was a connection with that, if that's the story that played out and showed us what happened. Maybe it was the anniversary, or maybe because we remodeled the kitchen. I don't know what caused that whole shadow movie to play out right in front of us, but I know it was the creepiest thing I ever experienced in my adulthood life. And I'm not happy that it happened, but I'm happy that I had other people there with me to witness it. Because if I tell this story and people gonna look at me like I'm freaking crazy, like, girl, like, what are you talking about? But I have witnesses. My whole family were there at this time. I think something was going on. Maybe my uncle was going through something. He was talking to my mom. He came over. My grandmother was there taking care of my little brother. But it was like everybody was there at this exact time to witness that with me. My grandmother was the first one to see it. So it wasn't only me who experienced this. My sister, my whole freaking family, basically. My whole family experienced it and watched this. So yeah, that was my creepy paranormal experience story time part 1, because there's a lot of story times I could tell you guys and girls, so it's kind of crazy. Subscribe. So don't forget to subscribe and thumbs up this video. Thank you so much for watching in my Vlogtober. I'm trying my best to keep it going, and I might do some more paranormal experiences, story times for you guys. I have so many experiences and stories I would like to share. It's kind of crazy, okay? I don't want them to happen anymore. I don't want no more paranormal experiences. No, because at that time it was scary, but I'm thankful that I was not the only one there, because I probably would be freaking out, or me and my sister would be there alone. We probably would be freaking the frack out, and I did not want that. So I'm happy I experienced that huge paranormal experience with my family, and we definitely need to tell this on a TV show. Subscribe and like.